Hi, Sharam Namdarian here. In this video, we're going to be talking about stress, stress management, how to handle stress, and more importantly, our relationship with stress and our ability to drop it in the moment. So my story with this video actually starts around the end of 2018. Around the same time that I decided that, hey, I'm no longer Harvey Hook, was around the same time that I'd run out of money. I was honestly extremely humbled with what life had taken me. I had all these big goals, big dreams, big aspirations, and to be honest, it didn't necessarily get me where I wanted to go. So if you are a fan of this channel, you'll notice that I did a big hiatus during, I think, pretty much 2019. At that time, I'd run out of money. I'd moved back with my family, my parents, and I spent a good majority of it meditating, a good majority of it really depressed. And to be honest, that's where a lot of the really exciting, I guess without lack of a better word, emotional technology that I talk about in these videos comes from. It came from me trying to mobilize myself when I was really just fucking down. Like, literally, like, all I could do was lie in bed. Outside of the occasional work thing, and I still had clients, clients that I was getting results. But I was basically having to restart my nervous system. So one thing that then happened was my father just happens to work at the Melbourne market. So the Melbourne market is a wholesale market where you work. When you work there, generally it's from midnight or sometime after dark till sometimes when the sun rises. So to be honest, I resisted it for a very long time. But then finally, one day I said yes. Now, the market is a crazy stressful place. It is a place, it's the wholesale market of Melbourne. So currently now we're in coronavirus times. And during these times, like what's open, When everything shut down, it was hospitals, it was groceries, at least in where I am. And the market. The market was the wholesale supplier for every other grocery place in Melbourne. So what I find interesting about this is that the actual market is incredibly stressful. You got forklifts driving around like crazy. You got people yelling at each other. No one knows how to be polite. It's a unique world. It's around the size of an airport. And we're even driving around on those little airport buggies. It's basically manual labor, which, to be honest, as someone like myself who's spent a lot of time trying and creating businesses online to varying degrees of success, it was really nice to have a job where I didn't have to think for once, where it was literally move the box here, fulfill the order, fulfill the order, back to the widget creating asset of life, or the widget moving asset of life, like being someone who is managed as opposed to a manager, which is the role I'm used to taking. But so this is a job that I still have to this day. I really like it. It's not something I have I'm ready to let go of just yet. It supplies me money. It gives me the resources to restart this particular thing or whatever I'm trying to do, the next venture that I'm attempting to create. But what I find really interesting is that in the market, because it's so stressful, and with combination with the things I've learned about letting go, being able to let go of emotions and things that hold us back from being truly ourselves, that when I applied it to stress, I realized that I had developed through the market, being in the place where I was able to be transported and just dealt with stress. I basically learned how to drop stress in the moment. And I'll tell you an interesting observation I learned about the other people who are able to drop stress in the moment. But I then started to realize that people around me that I would interact with, even at a social distancing level, sometimes can't drop stress. Sometimes being stressed is stressful for some people. So I don't know about you if you're watching this video from a perspective of, hey, I like Sharam, he's got crazy eyebrows, or you Googled how to be less stressed or something like that. But the main contention here is that stress itself is not the problem. Stress is just an asset of life, just like love is an asset of life. Being stressed about stress, though, makes it go longer, because not only are we trying to drop stress, we're also trying to de-stress about stress. So I find that if you are stressed about stress, honestly, life just gets a little bit harder. So the interesting thing that I observed at the market, where I see people who are really stressed, and even within myself, once I'd learnt to let go of stress, was that if something stressful happens, we just go like, fuck. Like there's an expression where like, shit, that was stressful. But it's in that moment, it's no longer a big deal anymore. Because stress no longer is a big deal. I remember once when I had come back from a world tour, and I was an Uber driver. And basically, the job, for some people find driving very stressful, some people don't. I had been a delivery driver in the past, I've done a lot of driving. I lived on a farm, so when you live on a farm, you have to drive everywhere. Basically, as an Uber driver, there was varying degrees of stress. Now, this was a really good example of letting go before I basically systemized it and now teach it and know how to let go in the moment. But there was a time when I was driving a car and I needed to pick up some people from IKEA. Now, these people who I was picking up from IKEA were they just had a lot of, furniture. They had a lot of furniture that they wanted to put in my car. And it was very stressful because not only did they want to put it in my car, they wanted me to pick them up in the middle of a busy road where there is literally no spot for me to park. And what I found very stressful about that is as I pulled over and as they're trying to jam my car full of their furniture, we're basically creating a traffic jam. There are honking and hooting and hollering and all of these people just horning their horns and honking their honks, trying to basically get me to move. And I'm here trying to do my job, trying not to move. Now, it was in that moment without realizing that I'd let go of the stress of driving. Let go of the stress of more specifically dealing with people honking at me or creating traffic jams. Because what can I do? What can I do? What can I do about this stress? I can either stress about being stressed or I can just fucking deal with it, you know? So I remember with my journey with being an Uber driver, after then, there was never really a time where I worried about creating traffic. I was like, they're going to honk. They're going to horn. They're going to drive around. They're going to be angry. So what can I do? Can I be stressed about being stressed or not? So that's the real contention of this video, is that sometimes we are stressed. Great. But sometimes we are stressed about being stressed. And if you are stressed about being stressed, not only are you stressed, but you're adding extra layers on top. That's why I'm all about letting go. We shave the layers. We basically shave the layers of who we are as a person. You know, I've said this before, that often I find people turn to healing because the world is too hard, and then they end up becoming this person who's away from the world. I find healing, if we are truly healing ourselves, what we're actually doing is we're trying to be more integrated in the world. So learning to deal with stress, learning to let it go is actually really important, because imagine if you were really good at being stressed, you'd probably do more. You'd probably laugh more. You'd probably talk to people more. You know, imagine if you were, like, for example, when I coached people in dating and their dating lives and stuff like that, fear of talking to new people, fear of possibly being seen wanting to be dated, or even fear of dating. Imagine if you're okay being afraid. You'd process that emotions. Emotions have a cycle. They have a time limit. You know, I can teach you about letting go till the cows come home, and that's really great. But even without that, even without like a systemized approach to dealing with life, what ends up happening is you'll do it eventually. It just might be a fucking pain in the ass. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this, I just wanted to do something a bit more casual. So if you did like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you liked this, make sure to leave a comment such as, "Oh God, you look good in a tie." Wearing a tie. I decided to dress for work, even though outside of the market, I'm obviously working from home. And make sure to get the body image meditation. It's my systemized approach for letting go of the bullshit thoughts we have about ourselves. So with the body image meditation, you look in the mirror, and you let go using my systemized approach for letting go of the negative reactions to yourself. And as a result, you fucking love what you look like unconditionally. I swear to God, it's amazing. Check it out. It's not a free thing. You got to pay for it because fuck you. No, because I like the idea of having paid courses, and I'm trying to move away from the market as much as I love it. It's always been the dream to work in this capacity. So making videos, making meditations, maybe later on I'll restart my podcast, doing talks about this stuff. But I think I needed something really, truly great to talk about. And I feel like letting go for me is pretty much I've based my whole life around it. Like, if there's something I want, first I let go of the desire of it, because I know that my attachment to it often clouds it. And then the second thing I do is I let go of all the resistance to it. That's basically it. And in a nutshell, me as a person, I've managed to get myself functioning again from being a broken man to being me, without any lack of a better word, being me in a nutshell. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the time you've spent into watching it. Maybe you've got something out of it. Please let me know if you did get anything out of it, and I'll talk to you soon for more latest and greatest of whatever the hell I fucking talk about. So talk to you soon.